Guys, today's video and today's batch starts off with this cute little face in the aisles of Hobby Lobby. I had some ideas of what I wanted to do for my autumnal collection, but as I was at Hobby Lobby this last time, it all came together literally right in the aisle. I bought these tiny little Apothecary glass jars. Then I got some crystal beads to put inside the glass jars, and then I have these little wax melts that you use for wax sealing. I drizzled a little bit of wax over the Apothecary jars just to make it look old and mysterious. So then on top of that, I wound a little piece of copper wire and a rough cut gemstone. It all came together so beautifully, and these I'm going to use as an embed on the tops of this batch.
There we go.
So here I am arranging my station. The prep takes a while, honestly. The prep and the cleanup take the longest. For me anyways, I'm sure every maker is different, but for me that's what takes the longest. It's not necessarily the making of, unless I'm doing a really super complicated design, but this one is not. This one's going to be a fun little thing. You'll see. I wanted to have most of the batch black. I wanted a dark base in order for those little embeds to really pop. If you have a contrasting color, things really tend to pop. If you want to have subtle, like wispy lines, everything that kind of melds together, having similar colors is the way to go. But if you really want something to stand out, having those contrasting colors really helps. So these colorants are from the Sensational Soap Supply. If you've not ordered from there, you are in for a treat. I've gotten several fragrances and these colorants from that company, and it's incredible. I'm so happy. I cannot say enough good for my first experience. The fragrance oils I used today were a blend from two different companies. One was from the Sensational Supply, and then the other was from Nature's Garden. And one of them has a sassy name, so I'll put that below so any children listening will not repeat it. I have children, I know how that goes. But the scent blend is so good. I wanted like something mysterious, but kind of potion-like, because I wasn't sure what I was going to call this batch originally, whether it was going to be potion or apothecary, or if I'd come up with a different name, like a mysterious name. But this scent blend has notes of citrus. It's got kind of a bite to it. It's really, really nice. So when I'm working with a new fragrance oil or a new blend that I've never worked with before, I try to blend by hand. And I read all of the manufacturer's notes and all the reviews on their websites. Usually I get a little bit more of an idea of what I'm going to deal with. But if I'm not sure, I will err on the side of caution and just blend in the fragrances by hand. So each of these colors, I blended in by hand. And then I saw that it wasn't going to accelerate, it wasn't moving super fast, so I ended up coming in with the stick blender. But I just wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I didn't want everything accelerating on me. And as you can see, I put the colorant in that smaller pitcher, and it's sometimes hard to get colorant out of a small pitcher when you're adding it to a bigger one. So I added a little bit of the soap batter to the pitcher, and that kind of helps it release from the sides. This is just a little trick that I've learned along the way that really helps. And then this colorant is, I did a blend of activated charcoal and then zero gravity from Mad Micas. This is the only colorant, this black blend, that is not from the Sensational Supply. I have a great big jar of that zero gravity from Mad Micas. It's one of my favorite blacks because it's got a lot of kind of glittery bits in it. So for this particular design, obviously it's like mysterious, and I'm a glitter kind of girl. Sometimes I really have to hold myself back when it's like a manly batch and I want to put glitter, but I'm like, this is for more geared towards the manly, and so it's really hard. But this one, yeah, it's mysterious. So I figure glitter, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. I test my soap. See, I'm just kind of sloshing it around to see what trace it's at because I wanted to pour not at a thick trace because the design I have that I'm going for is a little bit more intricate, but I didn't want a water type consistency either. I wanted it to be a little bit more set up, maybe like a medium trace, a light to medium trace instead of a light trace instead of a heavy trace. So I'm just going back and forth with the black. I want the black to be the highlight. I measured out 4 ounces for each of the colorants, and then the rest of the batch was black. So I just wanted to have little pops of color, the black being the highlight, with just, or having the main feel be black. And then propping it up a little bit helps both with the pour and the design. It helps it to be, if you want kind of an angled design in your final bar, propping your mold up like this, it can be a really harsh prop or just a slight prop. It just depends on what you want. And eventually the mold does fill up. So as I go, I was able to do this until it reached that top portion where I was pouring. Didn't want it to spill out, so I had to level it off. But at that point, the soap was setting up a little bit, so I wasn't worried about losing the design or it all muddling together. And I tell you what, guys, I am so excited to be making autumnal soaps. Like, I just am. Last autumn, personally, was just a very difficult year. Last autumn was hard, but the year was hard too. So I'm really looking forward to just really savoring. I know nobody knows what the future holds. Nobody knows what the next season is going to hold. But I'm just really looking forward to sitting outside, enjoying the colors. We have a lot more colors in our yard than we did at our previous house, and I just don't take that for granted. When you don't have something, when you eventually do get it again, it's like, hallelujah. There's something to the scent of the leaves and walking outside in the morning and knowing that the seasons are changing because of the smells. There's just something magical to it. So yeah, I've really been enjoying the walks that our family's been taking in the mornings and in the evenings. You can just feel things changing. And then some of the leaves from the trees that change soonest are starting to turn yellow. And I don't know. I mean, it could very well just be from stress. We live in a desert because we don't get a lot of precipitation. So we are technically desert where I live. So I don't know. I mean, it could just be the leaves are all stressed and ready to die because they don't have enough water. But I like to think that autumn is coming soon. So that's what I comfort myself with. You'll have to tell me in the comments what smells you like and look forward to with autumn, because there are a lot. There are a lot of different smells. So I really don't have a rhyme or reason to this hanger swirl. I just did it. I went in. I try to go all the way to the bottom with my hanger tool because I don't want most of it to be swirled, but not the bottom. I want to get each side. I want to get the middle. I want to get the top. And that's just something that honestly you develop as you play with the hanger tool. And I don't know, I think it was Albert Einstein said creativity is intelligence having fun. But I love that quote. That's one of my favorite quotes. Because creativity doesn't need to end when you hit a certain age. I know sometimes we think like life is over after 25 or after 35 or after 45 or whatever age you kind of put, but it doesn't have to. We can be creative well into our golden age our golden years. It doesn't need to be done. I love talking to soap makers that are in their 70s or even 80s, and they're just like, I didn't know I was so creative. I didn't know I was so creative. But it's just having fun and learning to let go and allow yourself to play. Allow yourself to play. And creativity, there's so many different ways to be creative. You can be creative with art, with food, with music, with landscaping, with woodworking. There's just so many ways to get creative and be curious. So here are those little embeds that I made. Look at how they're so cute. They are so cute. I am just so happy with how these turned out. I think I'll always be a little girl at heart. Inside, I never want to lose that. I never want to lose that. There is a meme that has gone around for years, and I'm going to pop it in. Remember her? She's still there inside you waiting. Let's go get her. Like, that just never gets old to me, because I think all of us at heart want that feeling of innocence and creativity and play. We want to, but there are so many things that get in the way. And when we are able to call to that innocence, that all of the things, it's just such a beautiful thing to reconnect with what we were, because we're still that. We're still that. And we go through so much heavy, but the beauty of actually calling back to the inner child, it's lovely. And it doesn't have to be weird or just, it's not a weird thing. It's cool. So anyways, glitter was involved, as you can see. I couldn't not. I was debating, because the black base and then those colors, it was so stunning on top. It was actually a real struggle to try and figure out if I wanted to add glitter, if it would add to it, or if it would take away from the design. But ultimately, I decided I really wanted to add some, because it would add to the Apothecary jars. Inside, they have little crystal shiny beads inside. So I'm like, that would just kind of complement that. So I did it. Plus, I love glitter, so why would I not want to add glitter? It's always scary when embeds are, like, they have to be placed so precisely, or I cannot use my multi-bar cutter. And I love my multi-bar cutter because it helps me. It helps make cutting so much easier. I hate cutting by hand. I hate it. If I can avoid it at all costs, I just don't like it. So there it is. You can see each bar is slightly different with the swirl, even though it's all the same batch. I love how that happens. So this is my business stamp. I try to put this on the sides of all of the bars that I make. I got this on Amazon. Really basic, super basic. I did custom, like, I chose the font and the wording. It's just my business name. And then this, I wasn't sure how I wanted to stamp the actual batch name on, so I played around with an end piece. So if you're ever in the position where you're like, I don't really know how I want to stamp this, take one of your end pieces or a scrap piece of soap and test that, because you have only so many bars in a batch, or so many batches that you make, and you don't want to take a whole bar that you could sell or give away or use, whatever, and have it stamped in a way you don't want it to be. So using those scrap pieces or those end pieces is a great way to practice with your stamping. So here it is. Look at that blue. Isn't that so vibrant? I got all of those supplies for that little Apothecary jar from Hobby Lobby. I just love it. So in love. Have I said I love it before? I'm going to say it again. I love it. There it is. There they are. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. My name's Martha. I'm the owner and operator at Blue Haven Soapery. I don't know about you, but when you're listening to somebody talk, you kind of just want to see like their face, like what do they even look like? So that's why I pop these pictures in at the end. I just want to like connect a face to the voice behind the work. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I hope you guys have a great one. We'll see you in the next video.